And welcome to Let Them Talk. I'm Paul Dirienzo, and we have a repeat performance with our favorite Christmas show. Every year we've been doing this. Katya, Grineva, welcome. Welcome back.
Thank
Great,
you so
always
much.
great to have you on. You're looking great. I love your
Thank you.
sparkly dress, and I hope the light seems to be catching it right on the TV, so I hope everybody at home can see that. And of course, you are here to talk a little bit and to show some of your music in a minute and to talk about this show, your performance at Carnegie Hall, your annual performance, which is on Friday, December 27th, and you can see all the information up there. It makes it so much easier, right? A classical holiday.
Yeah.
And how many years now has this been?
It's going to be my 19th season.
And how many years have you been coming on our show?
A lot, right?
A lot. Back when it was like the
Do you think
14th or
7?
15th or something.
Maybe 7 years?
7 years, yes.
Something like that.
Yes, I go back and I see our things going way back. Well, it's great to have you on again all these times. You're probably one of my most popular show guests. So it's great. So you'll be performing. You perform this classical holiday show, and of course, tell us a little bit about what's going to be happening at it, and then we're going to play a really interesting piece of yours.
Well, I chose like really beautiful program. It always take a lot of time to think the pieces I would like to play and the order. So I'm playing beautiful Bach piece, Jesu Joys of Man's Desiring. Everybody knows it.
Mm-hmm.
Then Mozart Sonata with a lot of fire, and it has Turkish march. So
cool.
Famous piece too. Then Schubert Liszt Ave Maria, and then after that I'm playing Clara Schumann's piece Romance, which is very rarely played. And this year we celebrate her 200th anniversary since she was born. So I decided to include her piece, and it's really beautiful piece.
Great.
And romantic in my style.
Right, you like the romantic, so I
Yeah.
can see that whenever I look up the music and do the background for the show, I can see your romantic era, right? The 19th century.
Yeah. And
Right.
I'm playing a couple of pieces from Nutcracker, of course, famous Dance of the Elves, Sugar Plum Dance.
Sure.
And then playing Waltz of the Flowers, which is so beautiful.
You have a lot of children this time again in the
Yes,
schools?
we're bringing children from like all the boroughs, like from Bronx and Westchester, and then from Jersey City. I have 100 kids coming.
Last time I went, I saw teachers I knew there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was amazed to see them.
So
and
maybe I'll have about 500 kids, maybe more, I don't know.
Right, great, great.
Yeah.
So this is great, great way to learn about this great culture. So we have, one of the things you're going to be playing is Bolero.
Yeah, I decided last week to add this piece because I sometimes change things like at the last minute when I go through program. And I'm playing very beautiful piece by Gershwin, Embraceable You, that famous song, transcribed for the piano.
Cool.
And then I decided to add Ravel Bolero. And I think I'm one of the very few people who can actually play it on one piano. Mostly it's played, of course, on the orchestra, or 8 pianos, or 4 pianos, or 2 pianos.
Right,
But I played on the one piano.
I did some of my background. I mean, I always knew that song, but I
Yeah.
didn't really know its history,
Yeah.
and that it does not have a melodic line per se, right?
Oh, it has very simple line. The thing is that you have to be able to play 2 hands completely separately, because one hand is doing the same rhythm over and over again, and the other hand is doing a melody. And then it's very hypnotizing, because you start very, very soft, and then you
Right.
build to this incredible crescendo.
Right. Ravel's best friend, his most famous work, I forgot the name offhand, but he said his most famous work was based on the sound of a railroad train.
I don't know that.
Which is amazing. I always thought railroad trains, subways were very musical when I sit there. and
Yeah, it
listen
has
to
the
them.
same rhythm,
Yeah,
right?
right. Very good. Well, here we go. Let's go to it, and we're going to play the whole thing, which was 17 minutes in the original, but you're doing the 10-minute version, which is pretty amazing, right?
Still
All right,
long.
great. So we're going to go to
Okay.
Bolero as performed by Katya Grineva.
I don't know. You know that I stayed in France in Fontainebleau for many years with friends, and we traveled.
crap too. That was great. So that's Ravel's Bolero as performed by Katya Grineva, who will be performing again on the day. See, there it is, Friday, December 27th, 2019, 8 p.m., Carnegie Hall. And there's, back down there at the bottom, you can get the information. It's all there, katyagrineva.com, and all the other information you need to get. Wonderful. So, and we were talking, you've been on at least 7 times. I got to count how many times. And you've been playing now 19 years at Carnegie Hall, and you fill the place, and you have adoring fans. It's really wonderful. So let's tell us, do you have calluses on your fingers from playing that? From playing Bolero? Tell us a little bit about what it's like, how that piece we just heard differs from the other pieces you play.
First of all, this piece is written for the orchestra, so it's not a piano piece. And I found the rendition of it for the piano in a very unusual place. I was giving a tour, and I was in New Caledonia, which is the country 3 hours away from Australia, and I was invited for lunch at somebody's home, and in a piano bench I found this music.
Oh, really?
So I asked them to make a copy for me, and then I started learning it, and in the beginning it was really tough because you really have to have separate your brain in 2 hands, because one hand is doing the same rhythm over and over again, while the other hand is doing the melody.
Right.
So it's not like a regular piece of music which you can just kind of play and then eventually it's get better. I had to learn it you kind of have to look at it, understand it, and just play it.
Right.
So
And it gets louder.
And that's very exciting.
Yeah.
And then the fact that you can start so soft. And I love I love pianissimo. I love creating those soft sounds which draws audience in. Pianissimo.
Pianissimo.
Yeah.
I knew that actually. Pianissimo means very quiet and soft, right?
Right.
So
So in Carnegie Hall, in that beautiful hall, with this most amazing acoustics, playing the beginning of Ravel Bolero is just incredible. Right. And then you can have this huge range, because every time the theme comes around, you build it. So it gets louder and louder, and then it gets so exciting.
You can tell that, and it takes a while to get to really bring it as loud as possible, right?
But it's very hypnotic. I think it's incredible. It's incredible for me to perform it.
It's considered his greatest. He was in his time considered the greatest French composer, and that was considered his greatest work.
Really, I don't know.
Yeah, and he wrote it towards the end of his life. I know that's the Wikipedia version, anyway, if you can believe Wikipedia.
I know that Ravel loved music so much. He called music his muse.
Right.
And I could feel it when I play his music.
He was a poet in a lot of ways. They said he had a poetic approach.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of the things you do, we did a show a while back. Will you be playing any of your nocturnes?
I will be playing Nocturne number 2, probably the most popular one, but that's the piece I love very much. I'm opening the second half of the concert with that.
Chopin, right?
Yeah, and then Fantasy Impromptu, which is also so beautiful.
Right, and Chopin, he was Polish, and he played the beginning of the 19th century. Beginning of the 19th century.
In Paris. He lived in Paris.
Right.
Most of his life.
Yes, and what is a nocturne? I looked at it up, but you tell us.
Nocturne means a night song.
And what is it that makes it a night song?
Just, it's romance, It's when you can calm down after a long day and somebody serenades you with a beautiful love song.
Right,
I think that's what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
I see, great. And you'll be playing that, one of Chopin's nocturnes. And you have a whole record. An album.
Complete Chopin nocturnes.
Right, of all of them, right? Oh, that's wonderful. And you have some. Tell us about your albums. Tell people about, people can find you. The video we showed is on YouTube. People can find that on YouTube. And just type in. You can find all the past shows we did together over the years, and all of course, beautiful videos that you made of your shows. And but you do have albums. Right?
I have 9 different CDs, and it's at www.katyacds.com.
katyacds.com. Great, so people will get
the latest one is all Chopin Nocturnes, but I have a beautiful holiday album, which is fun for this time of the year.
And
I'm playing this special version of My Favorite Things at Carnegie Hall.
That's another one we could have
Such
played
a-
all of. I had
such
to
a
pick
great
one.
piece,
Yeah, right. Another great piece. You could have played
Yeah.
that. I mean, Favorite Things is one of my favorite
Yeah.
tunes. How it's done so many different ways.
Yeah.
And that was the first time when you did it that I heard it as a classical piece. You know,
Mhm.
I'd never heard it as classical piece. Beautiful. So Christmas music, you'd be playing like Ave Maria.
Ave Maria's Schubert List. So
right.
beautiful.
Right. So that's like a Christmas hymn, right?
And,
Christmas
and
carol.
Tchaikovsky, Nutcracker.
Nutcracker,
That's
of
so
course. Oh, yeah, the
Christmas.
Nutcracker. Well, that's the most
Right.
ultimate Christmas
Yeah.
thing. Well, they play it on television every year since
Yeah.
I was a little kid, you know, forever and ever. All the different versions, the movie versions, and the different versions have been made. So the Nutcracker, why is that such a popular Christmas, do you think?
I think because it's beautiful music.
It fits the
and
Christmas
I think
theme,
it's
right?
the story is beautiful. Children love it. It's
Right,
just
right.
like
It's a toy that's
Yeah.
under the tree and
Yeah.
everything like that, right? And it's exciting, the Nutcracker, a
Right.
big toy in the 1800s. Great. So, okay, great. And so tell me about your piano this year.
I don't know the piano yet because only on Thursday I'm going to go and choose the piano.
Right.
At
How do you
Carnegie
choose a
Hall.
piano?
Well, they have them on stage, two beautiful Steinways, and then I play and I see which one I like the most.
How many Steinways do they have?
Two.
Two in Carnegie Hall.
Yeah.
They have two nice ones. They keep them really up. Are they
Yeah.
Are they slightly different? Is that
They're
it?
different. One is German, one is American.
I see. And they
And
sound
also the
different.
piano I'm used to play, like they changed it last year, so from time to time they sell them and they get a new one.
I see.
So
you
that's
go-
when it becomes tricky because I'm used to something,
Right.
but then I have to go and see.
Is
what's-
every piano a little bit different at that
Yeah.
level?
They're all different.
Because they're handmade. I mean,
Yeah.
they're all handmade,
They're
right?
different and they have different touch and different sound.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to choose something which is just right for me.
Right, right. And for Bolero, for example, that's pedal heavy, right? You use a lot of the pedals there. What a
Bolero,
pedal?
you need a lot of volume at the end.
Right. Well, what I wanted to use that as a segue, a radio term. Or what is the pedal about on a piano?
Well, the most important pedal is sustain pedal.
Mhm.
That's when you hear the sounds which prolong
Yeah.
and creates that beautiful overall tone. That's the right pedal.
Right.
The left pedal makes it softer. Like
Oh, it
if I play beginning of Bolero, I'll play it on the soft pedal.
I see. You just keep that
Yeah.
pedal down, and it's much more quiet,
Yeah.
and it gets louder. So that makes it. That helps the first at the
Yeah.
first level of.
And
increase.
also, I like to use a lot soft pedal because I like like sometimes the sound it creates and
Mhm.
different. I like to hear different colors.
Mhm.
So I use a lot both pedals. I
Right.
mean, everybody uses
There's
the right
a middle pedal too. Is that a
The
what is-
middle pedal is for some particular pieces when you need to prolong the bass,
I see.
and the rest doesn't have any overtones.
Okay, right.
It's
So that's
maybe
it.
in Bach, like some special piece,
Right, right.
but
you would do
it's not used very often.
that. Right, right. You like the right pedal there, like
The
the
right
gas
pedal you use all the time.
Right.
Actually, it's funny. Normally, like people always ask me, "Are your hands get tired if you play a lot of concerts?" And I said, "No, it's my leg." Because my leg is always on the pedal.
Because you're mechanically
Yeah.
lifting and releasing a
Yeah.
big, huge piece of
and
wood in
my
there.
legs hurt so much next day, but not my hands.
That's interesting, right?
So I
Your
always
hands are
have to
fine.
that's why I love yoga. I do yoga every day.
Oh, sure. And we did that show about your yoga. Well, that's why I asked about the if you got calluses on your fingers.
No.
No, you don't have to
But
worry about that
I'm
on piano.
good. I'm yoga really helps.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, tell about yoga. Tell me how's your yoga doing? Because you did a whole album we talked about, a beautiful album just about yoga, right? It was one of your in a
no,
book.
I mean,
It had to do with the book, right? Yeah,
My
tell
friend
us.
Sharon Gannon wrote this book, Magic 10.
Yes,
So I do them every morning.
right.
They're amazing exercises. I do them every morning for 3 years now.
Mm-hmm. Great. So yoga is an important part of your preparation to play.
Yeah. This summer I did 2-week yoga retreat in Woodstock.
Mhm.
It was intense, like with Sharon Gannon and her partner, David Life. So every day, 4 hours of yoga.
Oh, really?
But you know what? I notice how I play on a different level. It's
Mhm.
not the amount of time I actually
Sure.
practice piano. It's those yoga retreats, they help me to,
Right.
because they allow your body to breathe deeper.
Yeah,
And
breath. It's all about
breath
breath,
is
right?
so important. Yeah.
Right. As well as stretching and
Yeah.
breath, right? To
So-
breathe right. Yeah. Is that when you? How do you breathe when you're playing? When you're in the middle of something that's so intricate?
You
How
have
do
to
you
breathe.
how do you
You
remember
don't
to breathe?
You have to breathe very slow and very deep,
Mhm.
and then everything is okay.
Right. Just let it happen
no shallow
automatically.
breaths.
Right. No shallow breaths. It has to be
No.
deep.
Yeah.
Like, so that's why yoga is so important, or one of
Yeah.
the reasons.
Because it teaches you how to do it, and then I think for performers it's amazing.
Right, because you have to keep the stress up is so intricate, right?
Yeah.
Wow. So what's next for you? You're such a world traveler. Where have you been lately?
I actually just had a big trip in California and I returned 3 weeks ago, and it was an amazing trip. So I think this year, I don't know, I'm planning just to go mostly in America first few months. I'm going to Alabama.
It's always fun to see America, right?
I'm going to Alabama. I'm going to Minneapolis in April to play Chopin concerto, and then in May I'm going to play in Prague.
Okay, great.
So
wonderful.
that's going to be exciting.
Oh wow, that is nice. In May, beautiful springtime in
Yeah.
Prague. That's beautiful. What a beautiful city.
Yeah.
I hear people tell me they think that's their favorite city in Europe.
It's my favorite city in Europe.
Maybe you're the one who told me that, right? Why is it so? Why is
It's
Prague
beautiful.
so? Yeah.
It's like a little fairy tale.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so beautiful.
That's
You have
great.
to go and see it.
I know I haven't been there, but I've been to Budapest, but I haven't
Yeah,
been to
it's
Prague.
kind of like that, in that
Right.
category.
Right, great, wonderful.
And I think this year I probably will plan again a trip to Africa, like Cape Town and Namibia and
Right.
Kenya.
You're always in Namibia. It seems like such a large country with a small population, but there is a city
It's
there.
very
right?
German.
Very German. A lot of German
Yeah.
people live there, right? So they love classical music, of course.
Well, some people, like people came from Germany, they really appreciate it.
Right.
So I love going to Africa to perform because there are a lot of Europeans who settled there, and they really have appreciation for classical music, and they so appreciate it when I come.
Right. They love it when you come because it's a long flight, so maybe they don't see it so much, right?
Yeah.
In the United States, in the Old West, when an opera singer or somebody famous would come out to those towns way out on the railroad, take days to get out there, people would build them the huge theater just for one performance.
Really?
And then they would memorialize that performance like for years afterwards. Jenny Lind and all these famous opera singers of the time. They loved it too, but it's pretty hard to get somebody all the way out there. There was a hardy bunch of performers who went all the way out to the remotest part of the country. So we have half a minute. What do you want people to remember? Katya
I
Grineva.
hope they come to my concert. It's in 10 days.
Yeah. There
It's
it
going
is.
to be beautiful.
Friday,
It's very
December
beautiful.
27th.
I'm playing Gershwin piece, Embraceable You, and then it's just a beautiful rendition
Right.
for the piano, very heartfelt.
Right. Next year we'll have to play one of those pieces.
Yeah.
All right. Great. Thank you, Katya.
Thank you.
Have a great show. All right. And we'll see you.